Hey, hello, it's me, Jimmy T. Today, talk about the stroke length for PMU. Thank you so much for the video you guys watching. Bring me a lot of view. I talk about flow pole, adjustable stroke length. I will add a lot of animations, a lot of illustrations, photo, and then separate couple different video and the test to prove whatever I say is making sense. Many years ago, about 5 years ago, okay? Did you ever know this machine is a mass tool? Okay, anyone knows what stroke length are they using? This is why mass right now is getting popular, because they have a very good machine in the market a couple years ago. This is 3.5 millimeter stroke. As a PMU artist, we never serious to look at what stroke length they use it before, which is a big mistake in a PMU artist. But right now we try to catching up. We try to learn from a lot of advanced tattoo artists, because why? PMU industry is from tattoo. Their knowledge is more than us, so we should learn from them as well. This is 3.5, so it's just right in the middle. In the market, you might find something machine fixed stroke is either from 2.1 to 5, something like that. 3.5 is the middle line. Higher stroke length usually is for tattoo artists. Shorter stroke length usually is for PMU artists. Because why? We're dealing with the skin is less density. Again, this machine a couple years ago, I love it, 3.5. And then this is what I feel. This is sounds like a little bit too much trauma to my client's skin. I still love it. Another word using very good to describe the stroke length is the penetration. Penetration instead of force. Yes, longer stroke length will create more force to the skin because the range. The wind up is longer, will be punched harder. Yes, but using this word may be easier to understand. Penetration to the skin. So that's why I want to step down a little bit. Right now I'm using more this machine. This is Sia mass again. This is 3.0 millimeter stroke. As my personal opinion, I love my quality better, control pad better, the outcome a lot better. This is a little bit of my secret. So of course, why I love this pen as well, because you can adjust the stroke length as well. So in this video, I will have couple tests using different stroke length. 3.3 stroke length versus 4.2 stroke length using like different voltage to test the penetration to a practice skin. This is Amazon practice skin. This is 3 millimeters. And other test is about the density with different stroke length, because the range is different. And then if I using this test, you will easier to understand. Now, certain rule of the stroke length. Shorter stroke length for shading. It means soft hit. Higher stroke length is for lining, is for harder hit. Do some research. One very popular machine manufacturers is called Bishop. Take a look at how they advertise their machines. Stroke length. 3.5 is for shading. 4.2 is for packer. Bold lining is using 5 millimeter stroke length. So that means different stroke length is for different use. If you're dealing with client is the skin is less density, okay, you better to step down a little bit. Or if you're a beginner, step down a little bit. Because why? If you're going into the skin, especially you're going deeper, that is easier to spread out. Migration that will be turn green, turn blue, will be create a scar. That mistake is very difficult to fix. Higher skin density need higher stroke length. Yeah? Again, for example, like PMU needs shorter stroke length. For my favorites, favorite stroke length for the eyebrow is 3.0 millimeter stroke length. Now some people using maybe a little bit higher, a little bit shorter. It's very depends on what you need, and then depends on the hand speed and voltage as well. Of course, when I see some client have a little bit softer skin, less density, thinner skin, I will using a little bit lower stroke length millimeters. For example, maybe 2.7, the brow steady CLE02, or even lower 2.5 mask P20. This is 2.5. Another rule is higher stroke length is equal to higher saturation. Saturation, if you a graphic designer, you might understand. So as a simple word, is the feeling is darker. It's darker. Another rule, higher stroke length is equal to longer travel time. For example, 2.4 millimeter stroke, the range is like this. From A to B, the travel time is shorter. Longer stroke length, 4.2, for example, from A to B, is take longer time. Now, this video might explain better. If I explain this way, is make you easier to understand. Now, this line is a center line, okay? Assume this part is the needles. Stroke length is about the range. Let's say, for example, the blue line is 2.4 millimeter stroke. So when the machines run, when the needle run, so 2.4 will, what happen is, 2.4 will from point A to point B is like this. Okay? So 2.4 millimeter stroke. Usually our rule is 50% rule. 2.4 divided by 2 is what happened. 1.2 millimeters hand out and 1.2 millimeters hand in. Is it better to understand? For example, using 2.4 millimeter stroke. 2.4 millimeter stroke, hand out 2.4 millimeters. So the range will be what happened? Right here. Okay, the needles never will get inside the needle shell. So that means what? It's not dripping the ink. So just pushing from here to here. So always 50%. Now, if you ask me, okay, 1.2, 2.4, I love to hand out the needle a little bit. Is that okay? Technically, yes. Okay? Let's say 2.4, I want to hand out about 1.5. Is that still okay? Yeah, you still have good 0.9 length to chip the ink. Technically, it's still okay. But always follow the 50% rule. Now, talk about the travel time. 2.4 millimeter stroke is from A to B. Okay, based on the same speed, right? Now, this is 4.2 millimeter stroke. The range will be from here to there. The range will be from here to there, right? So the travel time based on the same speed. Now, the same speed is involved on the voltage. Let's say right now I'm using 5 volts. 5 volts. Okay? Compare to 2.4 millimeter stroke, 5 volts. So the travel time is less. Shorter length, the travel time is less. Longer stroke length, the travel time is more. If we want to have the same density, okay, what happened is I need to run faster because I'm running longer. My travel time is longer, right? So I need to run faster to get to the same result with shorter stroke length. upon the same density. Another rule is the stroke length not equal to the depth into the skin. It's not equal to depth into the skin. Now, so confused is some people using the depth of the needles. The depth of the needle is how the needles stick out. How about I using this word is easier, is hand out, hand inside the needle shell. Is it easier? So the position will be hand in is start position, hand out is the end positions. The depth into the skin is different. Let's say, for example, your stroke length is 4.2 millimeter stroke. Do you remember the video talking about 50% rule? So you hand out 2.1, hand in 2.1 to create the needle have a nice ink flow. So are you going to stick into the skin all 2.1 millimeters? No, of course, depends on the situation, depends on which part of the body as well, depends on the customers of the thickness of the skin as well. Just for a reference only, as a PMU artist, our deepness is about 0.5 millimeters, depends on which part of your body. Okay, I will say my brows. Okay, brows, 0.5 millimeter deepness into the skin is my border line. So that means my rule don't go over 0.5 millimeters. Eyeliner, the skin is thinner, so you're not going to that deep. You're going to do a lot less. Now go to proper training before you really do it to your clients. Okay, don't listen whatever people say, including me. Okay, you need to feel it. Using lips, you do some research. Lips, you do some research on the internet. They will say like maybe 1 millimeters, 1.2 millimeters, something like that, the thickness. Okay, so using your fingers to feel the lips. They have outer lips and inner lips. Inner lip is thicker, outer lip is thinner. So you feel it. Outer lips, yes, about 1 millimeters. So as a PMU, always I have my rule, 1/3 rule. 1/3. 1/3 is the most deepness I go. For safe reason. As a tattoo, I will go half rule. The tattoo, the deepness is about 1 millimeters. Again, depends on which part of your body as well. So the ink today I'm using is the lining black. Add about 25% of water. The machines I'm using is full flow, adjustable stroke. Now for this test is more accurate, I will using 3.3 millimeter stroke. Now when I using 3.3 millimeter stroke, do you remember the rule is 50% rule, right? I'm going to stick out, or you say hand out, the needles is about 1.5, little bit over than 1.5. 3.3 divided by 2 is about 1.65, something like that, a little bit over than 1.6. Now when I using 1.6 millimeter stroke, 3.3 millimeter stroke, and hand out the needles is 1.6 millimeter stroke. Go inside the practice skin is about 1 millimeter in this test. So think about 1 millimeter is about 2/3 of the needles, right? So it's hard to see like by 0.1 millimeters, but if I go by 2/3 will be easier, right? From the eyes can tell the difference. Now when I using 4.2 millimeter stroke, the needles will be hand out about 2.1. So I want the depth inside the practice skin is about 1 millimeter. So from the eyes is about half. Agree? Okay, let's set up the needles. So the needles are using this shift. Okay, this is 1203 RL. Agree? 1203 RL. So the voltage I start at 5.5. Okay, make sure the needles is hand out 1.6 millimeters. So each voltage I will create two line with the same hand speeds. So I try to make the test is more accurate. Okay, every time I dip the ink is by using 3 seconds. And then I'm going to pick like this. Make sure clean up the ink around the needles. Agree? Pick. So I count about 10 seconds. So from A to B, I try the best using the same hand speed. Pump it up to 6.5. So when I'm doing the line, I know this is halfway. So I try to, the first 5 seconds, try to do the halfway. So I know my speed is about the same. So I'm going to stick in about 2/3 because right now the needle is hand out 1.6. 2/3 of 1.6 is about 1 millimeters. So pump up to 7.5 now. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. Pick. You can start here, the vibrations is a little bit different. So right now I adjust the stroke length to 4.2 millimeter stroke. Okay, make sure the hand out is about a little bit over 2. So back to 5.5 voltage. The depth inside the practice skin is about 1 millimeters. .5 now. So this test is about penetration. So this is baby oil. Now to test the penetration, are you able to see the difference? Higher stroke length, okay, have more penetration. So based on the same voltage, same speed, higher stroke length has more penetration. So test number two, same thing, based on the same machines using flow to using 3mm stroke length versus 4.2mm stroke length by using 5.0 voltage. Shading. Now, shading usually is by using the PMU brush technique. So this test I'm using PMU ink. Okay, this is the ink I'm using. Don't forget to shape. Make sure close the cover. Make sure completely close, otherwise your ink will spread everywhere. Shape it about 20 to 30 seconds. Because I want you to see better, I will mix a little bit water. Of course, you don't want to mix water with the the PMU ink yet. Okay, they have their own solution. You should buy it when you do it on the real human. So I add 3 drops. I don't like the electronic mixers, so usually I'm using manuals. This is called Microblading. Mix. The needles I'm using is inking. The number is 0801RL, single needles eyeliner. 08 is mean 0.25 millimeters. So 3.0 millimeter stroke. What is the 50% rule? Stick out about 1.5, right? So we measure again. Yeah, right now it's about 1.5. So again, 1, 2, 3. I'm using medium hand speed. Okay, remember your hand speed, right? So now I'm going to adjust to 4.2 stroke length. Again, double check, hand out 50% rule. So now based on the same hand speed, take a look at this is 3.0 millimeter stroke versus 4.2 millimeter stroke. See, the density is different. So because of the travel time, now if I want 4.2 millimeter stroke, get the same density with 3.0 millimeter stroke. Take a look at my math. So I try to use my math, okay, to tell you if you want to create the same density with different stroke length, what kind of voltage you should use. Okay, let's say for example, maybe a little bit hard to understand. Let me try my best to let you know. Let's say when I do the shading, okay, like, do you remember before I talk about the hand speed? Okay, with the voltage can affect the density. Let's say I'm using 5 volts with 3.0 stroke. Okay, let's see. Now I feel I want a little bit longer stroke length to create a little bit more trauma to the skin. That means I want more pack, I want more like pixelized, I want the dot lightly a little bit outstanding or darker. So let's say, for example, I want using 4.2 stroke. Okay, what kind of voltage depends on the same hand speed. I can create the same density or opacity. If you're using 4.2 stroke with 5 volts, okay, when you do shading, it will be look like this. Again, the hand speed with the voltage is about how many power provided to the motor. So more voltage, the motor will run faster. But don't forget, the stroke is the range. So 3 from A to B, the distance will be faster than 4.2, the distance. Okay, I know I'm so annoying. I repeat again. It's not easy to understand, but once you understand, will be boom. You got it? So my math, okay, you're using 5 volt divided by 3 equal to 1.666, something like that. Okay, you can using the calculator. Okay, so when you're using 4.2 millimeter stroke, okay, say very clear, very precise, right? Very precise. 4.2 millimeter stroke. Okay, so you're using this number time 4.2, so you will find out will be 6.972 volts. So you can round it up, of course. Like you can say, okay, 7 is okay. You get what I'm saying? So when you're using 5 voltage at 3.0 stroke, I can have this density. But when you change to 4.2 millimeter stroke, so if you want the same density, you need to increase to 7 voltage to get the same density, but that will be create more trauma, and then each dot is more pixelized and a little bit more solid and darker, saturated. Okay, of course, opposite way. Let's say it's too saturated, and then I'm dealing with some people have thinner skin or softer skin. Something like that. So let's say I'm using, let me see, 2.4. Okay, same thing, 2.4 stroke. Okay, so we're using the same number, 1.66. Okay, so 1.66 times 2.4 is equal to 3.984. Yeah, of course you can run up at 4 voltage. Okay, so same thing. If you downgrade to 2.4 millimeter stroke, if you want the same density with the same speed, hand speed, you should downgrade to 4 volts. Okay. Okay, like it? So the map, what the map told you, if I using 4.2 millimeter stroke, technically by map, same density based on the same hand speed, is using 7 voltage about. So upgrade to 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ink. Pick. So you can tell the density is closer to here, but it's more pixelized, right? So let me clean it up again with baby oil. So of course I understand right now, like everyone around the world, included United States, everywhere, we're going through very slow time, like economy wise, little bit weak right now. So this is a good timing for you to practice. In my channel, whatever tools I using, I told you. So instead of you just buy everything, very narrow down, okay, to try to help you save money. This is a good timing to practice when the economy become better, back to normal, become better. When you get ready, you will catch it, okay? During this time slow, if you're frustrated, just stay home, do nothing. When the economy back up, you get nothing. Now again, subscribe, leave a comment below, share. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.